Are we go? Are we go? We are go. Excellent. Are we go? Are we go? Yes, we are. We are go. All right. So, let's jump into things. Not the pile of money behind me. Okay, that's a little childish. We don't do that on stream. Also, please ignore that. I accidentally placed a block inside of this building, and I can't get rid of it. I also can't get rid of the building because there's no remove building button currently. So let's start with the big thing. Is this a? It is beautiful. So we have the rogue goblins, and they kind of sort of ish work. We're just gonna watch this guy. So, and then after we watch him for a little while, we should see it working. And then I can show you the changes to the code. Oh, hey, there we go. So that's half of the working of it. And then I probably won't find another one because it's difficult to find now. There's a handful of them in here. I think the spawn rate is probably too high. But okay, who cares about that, right? Let's see how it actually works. So, let me zoom in on the code here, make sure this is carrying over. So the rogue goblins, we will remember, I don't know what's going on. Half of the text is invisible. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what that was all about. Working now. Okay. So, well, before I even get to how I fixed it, yeah, so remember how I was having those crashes when I was adding new bits of data to the entities? Yeah, it turns out I'm an idiot. I could just do in the onActivate function. If data exists, it reloads that data. I could have just thrown an else in, and yeah, I would have not been having all those crashes. So good to know that now. I wish I would have thought of that earlier. But let's get back to the wandering bit. So, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. If self-state wandering. So this is a twofold system that pretty much ensures there will never be another group of rogue goblins just stuck together huddling. We'll cover the first part second and the second part first, because the second part is the replacement for the code I was doing yesterday that just refused to work. So yesterday, if you were watching, you will remember, potentially, if you have a good memory, that I was using a vector equals, I believe. And we were rounding the position of the entity, and we were rounding the last position as well, and then we were comparing the two. And for whatever reason, it never wanted to say they were the same. So I changed it up to a vector distance between the last job and its own position. And that basically is just doing, I'm assuming it's just doing a couple, is it the Pythagorean theorem? X squared plus y squared equals z squared? Whatever it is, it's just getting the distance between 2 points in 3D space. Technically 2D space because the elevation's the same, but I think it's still calculating as 3D space. I'm not 100% sure how it works on the back end, but it just checks how far apart in a straight line the 2 points are, and if it's less than 0.25, so a quarter of a node, then it says it's idle. So if the goblin does get stuck for whatever reason and just stops moving, this code should catch it being idle, or I guess moving too slow, and change it to idle, at which point it'll do a search around for buildings to attack or its own base to travel back to. And if it doesn't find those, it'll go back to wandering, but before it goes back to wandering, it will set it in a random direction. Now, on top of that, so say they're wandering and it's not hitting anything, so it's just going in a straight line. It'll just go in that straight line for forever. It'll never stop and look for anything, which is kind of stupid because the whole point of the wandering is to find something. But if it just keeps wandering ad infinitum, it'll never find. So I added this little chunk of code. So every 10 times this code runs, it changes its state to idle. So this executes approximately once a second, and that is being done up here. So we have a node timer. The node timer equals 0 to start with, and then we add dtime, and once the node timer is greater than 1, we run the code. So it's pretty much once a second that this code runs, which means this is pretty much every 10 seconds. A goblin will stop wandering, do a quick scan around for anything to go to. If it doesn't find anything, picks a new random direction, starts wandering for another 10 seconds. And it seems to work. So happy about that. Then I think I did have to make a small tweak here. Yeah, so I was having issues. Quiet Q, hello, welcome back to the stream. So I was having issues with, let me find the base. The rogue goblins. So let me just spawn one in, because I have that queued up. There we go. So we have a rogue goblin who is currently idle. Should find its own base, though. You're still idle? You're supposed to find your own base. Why aren't you checking for your own base? Let's try here. Still idle. Yeah, you should be looking and saying, oh, hey, I have a base here I can go to. Okay, well, maybe there's still some bugs in that? I don't know. But anyway, the issue they were having was the rogue goblins would go and try to get back to the base here to, decommission themselves and add some resources to the goblin stockpile. And they would hit the building and bounce off. Well, they would hit this part here and bounce off. Not optimal, because they have to be here in order to execute their code and remove themselves. So I don't know why I didn't do this initially, because this is it saves such a headache. The current code to figure out if, be it a goblin or a villager, a worker, player unit, is next to something, is garbage. But this is so easy. It just, when it collides, we just look at the node position. We can get the node from the node position, and then we can just compare the node. So we can say, as I'm doing here, if it hit something that's in a player building group, so any of the players' buildings, change the state to working, stop it moving, and save the last position to last job, and then the working code uses that position to find out what actions it should be taking. And if it's the goblin base, it removes itself and adds the resources to the base. And then that eliminates I didn't take it out actually, because I want to make sure it works before I just start hacking code out of things. But we have this whole working here where it's collecting resources. Well, it's stealing them technically from your base, or stealing your inventory, or damaging things. And it's more work than it should be. It can all just be done in the on collision, because they're physical entities anyways, physical entities. So that'll probably be put in on all of the entities. So the goblin scouts, the goblin rogues, the lumberjacks, the foragers, the miners. I think it's actually going to make things quite a bit easier. But that'll come later, because you can't really have a very good... Oh, hey. I think these are just normal goblins. Yeah, see, these are normal goblins. They don't have that change yet, so they don't wander around. They just stay there bored, which isn't great. But you can't really have a tower defense game if there's no towers, So I think, what if the goblin falls in a hole? So technically there should be no holes. Looking at MapGen here, this is a flat, super flat. I forget which. I think just flat. And the ground is flat. I mean, someplace, and I forget which direction I need to go. There is a little hill. I say little, it's a big hill. Oh, hey, there it is, off in the distance. It's pretty massive. But the entities can't jump, so they can never get up onto this. I'm in fly mode, so I can just no clip through it. The goblins, like their bases and stuff, will only spawn on these reddish nodes, the dearth. This one spawned right near the edge. And, oh, ooh, that, I'm going to have to do some extra code for this. Technically, at nighttime, a rogue goblin could spawn up on this lip, which then when they're traveling, they would go this direction, and they would just float in the air because they never check what the node below them is, and then drop down to the node. So either I need to make this not be able to spawn at this elevation, which would be the smartest way to do this. So let me actually just do that real quick. I just need to give myself an item. We'll use dearth, because why not? And then I need to look at the... So that was placed in at an elevation of 2. So if I go to map gen, and we do the dearth, Y max, we want to be 1. And that theoretically, then this is at elevation 1. This will never be able to exist in the final game, and I won't have to worry about goblins being in the air floating around. But yeah, there's no holes in the ground, there's no caves, there's no dungeons, there's not even water, which maybe at some point I'll add in an upgrade, a DLC. Yeah, I'll make a DLC for the game with water, so you can, like, I don't know, go fishing, have boats to collect fish to get food. But the trouble is, I don't know how I would actually make any of that happen. Also, look at all this stone. There's way too much stone in the sand. Way too much. Also, I'm kind of lost, but not to worry because we have the base command, which will take me back to my most recently placed base. Woohoo. Okay, so yeah, there really are no holes in the ground. Yep, they stay in a single wide plane. They don't jump. Neither do the player units. They just stay in elevation 1 here. These few scattered out nodes here, these are ones that I placed. Because these were intentionally placed. But as you'll notice here amongst the tabs, you never get an inventory slot visible anywhere. But you do have the, how do I even show that? I guess just this way. You do have the inventory hotbar down at the bottom with your 8 slots. And when you buy something, which I probably can't because I don't have the resources. Oh yeah, I do. It places it in there. Why did it? It gave me 2 and now I don't have enough resources. Interesting. Okay. Well, anyways, it places it down there, but you can't reorganize them because you can't actually interact with your inventory at all, which maybe should be changed. I don't know. I would like to make the inventory slots bigger, but that doesn't seem to be an option, which I don't understand. Also, I've lost my base. Yeah, again. Oh, wait, no, it's over here. I remember this green hill. So here we have a worker collecting berries and another worker collecting berries. And yeah, same thing. If I can't dig a hole in the ground because you can't break the nodes. But I could place a node here, which is how I accidentally placed that one in this building, which I can't do anything about. Yeah, what's this little bugger doing? He's just traveling. Okay. Traveling to what, though? Because I bet it's my base. Oh, hey, getting mighty close there, buddy. Where are we going, huh? Where are we going? You gonna start stealing? Look at that. I'm down to 4,500 food because I had a lot of goblins coming in stealing stuff. He's working. Yeah, more like he's pilfering and looting and pillaging. My own fault for building this so close to the edge. Okay. So, with that out of the way, let me make sure I saved that mapgen file. It's time to work on a tower. So let me open up. Yes, I believe this is the file. Yes, it is. Okay. I made the UI bigger so you can hopefully tell what's going on here. Because I didn't want that. Because nobody really wants to watch me do something if you can't even tell what I'm doing, right? Because that would just be lame. So this is the goblin building. We don't really care about that right now. I'm just going to move it off to the corner. Actually, it doesn't even matter because we're just going to turn off visibility on those. We want defenses player. So I do currently have this one turret. I don't know how I feel about this one turret. Let me change it so it rotates around that. So this turret has like a cannon on it and a base. And I feel like it doesn't really fit the theme. Like, what are we doing with the doodad here? So it would make more sense to have like a ballista shooting arrows. You know, that'd be cool. But then I have to make this point towards things. And that sounds like a lot of work. So, yeah, I'm on a time crunch here, okay? Cut me some slack. So what we're going to do instead is make an archery tower. Okay, sure, it's the easy way out. Some people might say it's the lazy answer because it's just a tower. So there's no anything to deal with. There's no rotation. It just shoots an arrow out of the top of it, which I don't even know if I'm going to make that a physical arrow that you can actually see, but who knows. Make an open source Isaac game algo. I have a feeling autocorrected that to say something that you didn't mean it to say, because I have no idea what that was supposed to mean. Let me pull my player in. I don't even know what that's under. I have a player object someplace. I don't think it's under resources. Nope, those are the mines and the trees and the bushes. It's probably under player building. No. Well, that's weird. I had a player. Did I delete the player and only save the goblin? It wouldn't really matter if that's what I did, because the goblin... Where are you? Oh, I'm in... Here we go. This is the goblin. So let me just duplicate the goblin. Duplicate the goblin. There we go. And we'll call this player now. And we will move the player to defenses player. Hide the goblin stuff again. And the player is a half node tall. Or the... it's not the player, but the villager. I really shouldn't be calling them villagers, because they're technically... I mean, that's... It's whatever you could call it, I guess. There's no reason why you can't call it a villager. It's just it's not what it's called in game. So yeah, they're half a node tall. So if we make the archery tower, I don't know, like that tall, and then put the actual like archery platform up top, I think that'll be good. The whole scale on this game is kind of, hit and miss. It's all over the place. Yeah, so it's whatever, It's one of those things where, yeah, you can't expect 100% realism, Ages of Empires, the original, which is the only one I really ever played much. The OG, yeah, the villagers would never fit in the houses. And that's kind of what gave it the charm. It gave it that whimsical feel and look. So that's what we're doing here. So this tower, yeah, will only be like 1.5 times as tall as a villager. But in reality, you would have it quite a bit taller than that. But this isn't realistic. This isn't reality. This is fake. It's make-believe. Let's see here. Childvr? I don't know. Where can I look to start modding? So that depends quite a bit, actually, on, do I want to say previous experience, previous knowledge? Maybe not even previous, but just knowledge, I guess. So if you're already familiar with programming and, like computer language, that would be programming. You could just jump right in and pull up the Lua API. Everything it's all just right here. Let me throw it in the chat. this tells you everything. This is where that's actually a huge lie. It's very misleading. A lot of incomplete documentation. There's a lot of stuff about the API that is not helpful and leaves you scratching your head like, what does this actually mean? How do I use this to do what I want to do? And you just have to beat your head against a brick wall until you figure it out. Or look at somebody else's code that already figured it out and be like, oh, okay, so that's what this function's actually doing. Okay, I'm glad the documentation was so clear and straightforward. Not saying that to dissuade you from doing things, because it's a lot of fun. You just have to kind of work around all the idiosyncrasies of the API. Now, if you're not familiar, oops, I don't want that one. If you're not familiar with programming and computer language and stuff, that's a really probably not great way to learn. Luanti uses Lua, wow, surprise, surprise, as the programming language. And Lua itself has, if I could see my screen here, Lua has, I think it's lua.org. Yep, lua.org has a lot of documentation, if I could talk, about using Lua and how stuff works in Lua. I come from, not to sound pretentious here, because my background of Python is about that big. I kind of learned Python in high school for fun on my own. So that, is my background as far as programming goes. But kind of once you know a bit about programming, it's kind of all the same, honestly. There's different functions and different names for things, but essentially you're just dealing with logic. At the end of the day, that's all it is. It's logic. There's different ways to name variables. Some programming languages, your variable has to be a specific thing, like I think C. Don't quote me on this because I don't use C. I've done a teeny bit for like Arduino programming, and I believe that uses C. And you have to, when you define variables, from my memory, and my memory on this may not be very good, you have to define the variables and you have to give them a type. So if your variable is a number, it needs to be defined as a number. If it's characters, it has to be defined as characters. There's different types of numbers for like how long the number can be or how many decimal points it can have. Lua doesn't care about any of that. You have a local, you call your local whatever you want. So say I'm going to create a local and I'm going to call it Apple. And that local could be storing a table. It could be storing a number. It could be storing text. It could be storing a reference to something inside of a table. Is that really how that works? I guess sort of. You're pulling data from a table and you're saving it into that local. So it would be whatever data that table's storing. So yeah, if you already know any other programming languages, it's simple. There's not much to it. But if you don't, you're gonna have to pretty much start from square one of how does a computer think, essentially. Computers don't think, okay, but if I was a computer, how would I make X happen? So just for example, really quick here, let's just look at some code because why not? So I'll try to find some easy code. This is some pretty easy code. So this is just the registration for the logging camp. And we have a timer. So basically when this node is placed into the world, we set some stuff up internally and we start a timer that runs in 1 second. When 1 second elapses, approximately, I don't know how exact it is, it calls this function, because that's all this is. OnTimer is a function. We're pulling some data that's stored in the node, and we're pretty much just checking what the inventory is in the node. If the inventory is less than 50, then we want to execute this next code block. So if there's less than 50 units stored in the inventory, let's check how many nodes are near it. So core.findANodeNear is just a Luanti function. It's part of the API, and it pretty much just says, hey, I need a location, that's position, which is itself. I need a radius, that in this case is number 3. And what am I looking for? In this case, Kobo tree. So it looks for that. It creates a table of every entity, or not entity, of every position in that radius that that tree is stored in. And then we're just saying, hey, if you got a result at all when you did this search, if you found anything at all, that's all it's saying. If trees, if there's a result. Because if it doesn't find any, it'll return either nil or false. I don't remember. They're kind of used interchangeably, in which case this wouldn't execute because there were no trees. So then if we found trees, we're pretty much, again, just running some code and we're doing things. It's how a computer thinks. If you took logic in school, depending, on how old you are, that's usually a high school class. It should come pretty easily because it's like, oh, this is all stuff I did in logic. Like, I understand more or less how a computer works now because I understand logic. So it can be easy, but if you've never done it, I mean, I hate to recommend using something else to start with, but there's like, what do they call it? The language is called Scratch. I don't remember what the, I want to only delete the face on this. What is visual language, I want to say. So basically it does, think like Lego, okay? Or like a building block of that sort. And you're essentially just taking building blocks of code. And so you have like an if block. And so you have an if, and then you have a variable. It's the exact same as actually just typing it out. But depending on your age, I don't know how old you are. I don't want to know how old you are. It could be easier to kind of get a grasp on it in a more visual sense rather than having to type everything off. And there's like web-based things where you can like make a side scroller or whatever with Scratch. And it gives you the basics. It's like, okay, so that's how this works. And then you can move on to real code, if you want to call Lua real. I would call it real, but there's probably people that wouldn't. If you understand Mexicans, it's kind of like that. On a very low level, I would agree, yeah. What are the chances that you'll actually ever see that this doesn't connect? I mean, if you're in the low player mode, you could look up at it and see that. But then again, you technically would have windows in this because you're shooting out of someplace. So do I really care? You know what? Let's just fill it. I don't want to get docked points because, the mesh has a hole in it. Scratch uses visual blocks and translates it to JavaScript. I'm familiar pretty much in name with Scratch. I've never used it. That kind of stuff didn't exist when I was learning programming. Or maybe it did. I don't know. Didn't have home internet at the time. So, okay, so I kind of made the tower. Yeah, it's about 1.5 tall minus the roof, which I think is fine. The only potential issue, these all put lights on top of the buildings. So where is my base? The walls don't do lights. Literally, well, actually, I could just like the function. Place lights above. That is placing 2 nodes above itself. Excellent. So if this is sticking up, each one of these squares is 1 node. So this will be sticking up about 1 node, and then the light will still be the next node up. So that will work perfectly. Excellent. So this is the, I don't know, call it tower, I guess. Because that's what it is. All right, so now the UV editing, my favorite part. I wouldn't really say it's my favorite part, but it's more favorite than others. All right, so we're just gonna make, wow, that's not what I wanted to click on. Just gonna make some cuts here. Technically mark things to cut, so that way when we unwrap it, we have something to unwrap too. I kind of feel like I should do each one of these sides with the seam, and that way I can line them all up flat to the bottom, because otherwise they're going to run in this kind of a curved thing, and that's just going to make pixel alignment not work. It'd be an absolute nightmare. And it would look like garbage. And I'm kind of, trying to not have things look like garbage here. So that's important to me. Is this going to work the way I think this is going to work? This would fold up and out to that. And then these would fold out. It sounds awful, but I think that's what I want. If not, I'll just clear them and remark it as something different. Just seam on that at any point. Doesn't matter where. The roof, do a seam on 3 of the sides. And then I guess on those. Oh, wait. Oh. Yes. Oh, wait, no, this. Yeah, I'll just fold the whole thing open. Right? Yeah. Okay, so I'll just clear the seams on the flat edges. Think of it as papercraft. And all the red lines are where we're going to cut this. So this, we want to make this onto a flat sheet of paper. And in order to do that, we need to cut and fold. Elmer's Cut and Build 3D comes to mind. So much wasted potential in that. I didn't even know what that was. It wasn't really a game. It had so much potential. And they just threw it all out the window. I was like, wait, huh? No, like, there was... Never mind. If you're interested, look it up. I'm sure there's a YouTube video about it someplace. But obviously wait till after the stream to look it up. Because, you know. Should I call this player tower? I don't know. We'll just call it tower. I can always rename it later. I didn't want the preview. I wanted this. We want to use an image, of course. And I'll just select image 04 because why not? What is image 04? Oh, it's the goblin base. Okay. So I'm going to unwrap that again and then 128 pixel density, apply. Hey, it fits onto that image just fine. Swell. So then we're going to, that's how that unwrapped. Yeah, I don't care for that at all. So that's definitely going to change. I would like this to be rotated flat because it's just easier to draw on it if it's flat. It looks like it's upside down though, because this is the bottom and that's the top here. So we'll rotate that 180 degrees to make that sit at the bottom. Nice, nice, nice. These are all my wall sections. I'm just gonna pull those all down to the bottom. Actually, so then I have to move this up because I would like these to all be lined up to the bottom, because then I can just, if I want to do like a line going across the entirety of it, just as simple as painting a line across the full width. If I'm doing like a brick texture, I'm just doing a simple ambient occlusion bake on it at the moment. But this is my roof. It came out kind of funky, but I like it. This is the base. And then that's the turret piece. Yeah, and this, that's not what I wanted. So I will just select all of that and W and then clear seam. And then I go back to square one and I remark it. So let's try that. And then I can just unwrap that one portion of it. Nope, that's still not right. What is going on here? Oh. Duh. I need to cut at least one of these. So if I cut both of those, then I don't want this one cut. So then that folds out. Okay, I think I got it now. Let's see what happens. Hey, except it's rotated funny, but that's fine. We'll shrink it down, rotate 45. Can I fit that into this? Oh, yeah. Easy. Easy. Pop that back in. It kind of looks like a light tower more than an archery tower, but that's fine. And it doesn't really matter which way this is oriented. Does it? You know what? I'm going to rotate it anyway. This might be upside down now, though, but we'll find out soon enough. So then we're going to go ahead and do a quick ambient occlusion bake on this. Hey, we have an issue with the rooftop, which should really come as no surprise, seeing as the silly way I made it. So let me view. Wait, how do I do that? Somehow I can view normals. Oh, I have to move this over. Is it this? No, that's not what I want. I can see an HDR preview. That's cool. Here we go. Normals. I want normal faces. Hey, and look at that. They're all backwards on this top piece. Unsurprising. Alt-N will flip that. Hey, there we go. And now when I do an ambient occlusion bake, those are outside faces. Hey, and the color's correct. Nice, 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 nice. That all looks as it should be. That's the underside of this, so that's good. So then I like to have a UV layout as well. It just makes it a little easier. Export a UV layout. We'll save that as an SVG. I don't know if any of this is going to show up. Yeah, no, it's not showing up my export. That's fine. I'm just exporting it to the textures file because, of course, I'm going to export it to the textures file. And then we will save the image to the same place because, you know, why wouldn't you? And this, we're just going to call it tower. I should probably call it like _1 because there'll probably be other towers, but I don't know. It all depends on the amount of time I have to make things happen. So then, let me find this. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and open the image that I just shaved. There we go. So we have this beautiful ambient occlusion bake. Pretty much is just saying this is how much light hits these spots. So then we can do something fun like this, add a new layer with the mode of multiply. I don't know, say we want to do like a red clay shingle roof on it, right? Make this a little bit bigger of a brush, and we'll just paint the red in up here. And it doesn't really look like shingles, I know. You'd have to have some shingly lines in it, right? And that one also is kind of a bad example because there's no shading going on the roof. So let's hit the walls up instead. So I'll do a quick box selection. And then, can I fill this with like a stone texture? Does that exist? I know it comes with a bunch of textures. Hey, look at this. Perfect. It has a little bit of shading there. Yeah, you can kind of see when I toggle between the two how the upper half of it gets a little bit darker when I do this. Because it's just not as much sunlight is hitting it because there's this other wall piece on it. I don't know if that's really the best texture for this. I don't know if I can actually even use these because I don't know what these patterns are licensed under. How do I give attribution for something that I don't know what the license is? Textures are worse than sleep paralysis strip. What? Huh? I thought it was a good texture. No, I got a good texture to use. I'm gonna go ahead and import my path here as well, though. And now I have the, I don't know if this is gonna show up on video too well. It looks like it does. The little reddish pink line that shows me where everything actually is. I have Blender configured to put a little bit of bleed in. So I get a slight extra around everything. If somebody were to, and I would never recommend this, but if somebody were to use filtering, which kind of makes the textures blurry, this becomes important because it'll otherwise blur to black and then it looks awful. Unfortunately, I shouldn't really say unfortunately, but because I do have stuff lined up to the very bottom of the image, this will fade, or blur rather, into the top edge. So you potentially will get some red artifacts on the bottom of this one side. I don't care. You shouldn't be doing that. Okay? That's bizarre. Just don't. So if it messes it up for you and you don't like it, just don't. That's all I can say. Just don't. Just gonna put some noise onto this. My favorite thing in the world. A little bit of HSV noise. You can barely even tell because this is at a... Nah, you can see a little bit. It does not look anything like terracotta shingles, which is kind of what I was going for there, but that's fine. I'll survive. I have... Let me just find it here. I have a folder on my computer full of textures. Because, you know, you kind of collect textures over time. Where is it? I have one of cinder blocks. Oh, it's probably in the walls folder. That would make sense. Actually, you know what? It might not be in the walls folder because that ain't it. Oh, it's probably in the CCO folder under architectural. Yeah, there we go. Cement block wall. Or I have some other walls, but these would not work nearly as well. So we'll take the cement block wall, which is probably an absolutely gigantic file. So, yeah, it's pretty much the size of this yellow and black outline. It's very large. Yeah, this is one cinder block. Can I move that? Oh, I have a selection tool. Probably not. Oh, no, yeah, I can. That's one cinder block. So currently a cinder block is big enough to cover 3 of these sections. So that's really cool. I'll just scale it down. You know, they wouldn't have been building this out of cinder block anyways. But where's the scale? Here we go. Is this scale? That's not what I want. I guess I have to select none. I want to just scale the whole. There we go. Oh, hey, see, yeah. Now you can see it. This is just the wall of some factory that I took a photo of. Because that's just what you do when you do game stuff. Like, oh, this nice cinder block wall. I might need a texture of cinder block at some point. Let me take a quick snap. So I'll just scale this to something where it fits all of it. There we go. It would be kind of nice to line it up so that the bottom is about the bottom. So the first brick is... No stinking way. Look at that. The top of it lines up perfect and does the bottom. Of course, your corners are going to be a little jank because they won't match. But I'm not too worried about that. This looks good. So I'll just go ahead and scale it. Oh, yeah, that's perfect. And then I will crop, but we want to crop current layer only. Because I'll crop the entirety of the image, and that would be sad. There we go. All right. So now I have a beautiful brick texture for the actual tower bit itself, the walls or whatever. This is a platform. This is the base platform. So that I have another beautiful piece of artwork. It's not artwork. It's a photo of some rusty old metal, which is probably not actually good to use for that. That's hacks. What's hacks? These aren't hacks. This is legit stuff, man. This is what the pros do. So this is probably an even bigger picture. Oh, just a little bit bigger. Let me scale this one down. Wait till you'll see this one. Some goofy cutout of big feets in like inch thick steel. This thing's got to weigh like 100 tons. Probably not actually, but it's got to be heavy. That looks good. Sure, we'll just accept that. I know this building's not made of steel, but see, that's the beauty of it. At this scale, you don't know what it is. So we're just gonna say it's like marble. You know, it's some stone. And we'll crop it. This is gonna be for the pedestal. Make sure I'm cropping layer only. There we go. I do need to change all of these to multiply. I don't want to forget that. Yeah, because there we go. Now we have the color happening. There we go. Yeah, see, that's better. We got a little bit of shading up at the top because it's in the shadow. The top face is a little brighter than the side faces, etc., etc. This is like the wooden wall thing. So I need some wood. So let me see if I have a picture of wood. I'll let picture to use a pixel. Yeah, I know. But sometimes you need to use more of it, you know. The only reason that I'm using so little is because this is, I don't even know what the resolution is on this image. I think it's 1024. Yeah, it's pretty big. No, 512. 512 pixels. Because I'm doing 128 pixels per node. Leaves? Yeah, I probably don't want a picture of a leaf for this. I've got some fence pieces that I took photos of. Where are those? Distressed wood? No, that's not it. I have a huge collection of photos. It's 1,000 photos. So, sometimes it takes just a smidge to find just the right one. Okay, it's not in that folder. Well, where did I put it? Interesting. Unless that one's not saved in the photo or in the textures and it's saved in the photos. Oh, this is an issue because I'm the extended family photographer. So I do the family photos for everything. So I literally have probably terabytes worth of photos. Okay, well, I know I have a picture of it someplace, but I'm not going to find it right now. So instead, I will use... I have another one. It's not quite as good, but it will work. I have... I think this folder. Yeah. Let's see. Which one of these would work? Why is it not giving me the thumbnails? I want to see a thumbnail of my texture. Burlwood? No, I don't want burlwood. I want something that looks like a fence. Because it's going to be planks. None of these are going to work. These are too small. Okay, well, you know what? I'll just paint something by hand. Why not? I'll just make a selection box here so I don't, accidentally paint onto something else. Get a light tannish color. I don't know what would a light tannish color be under this. Yeah, sure. That kind of looks like a weathered wood kind of color. This is GIMP, yes. And then I'll just fill bucket. Wait, I can't fill bucket because I'm not selected the layer. Huh? Oh, because I cropped it, so I have to put it on this one. There we go. Wait a second. That filled with a texture, not a color. My bad. There we go. Then I will just use gradient. And we will make the gradient repeat. Not truncate. Triangular wave. I think. I just need to make this smaller then. Yeah, okay. And then I want to change my background color to pretty much the foreground color, but a little bit darker. Yeah, something like that. It's not great, but you know what? It'll work. It probably doesn't actually meet at the two ends perfectly. I can actually guarantee it doesn't, just looking at it, which I'm not too worried about. Let's put that to 65 and that to 72. And put this one to 72, so at least they're perfectly straight. And I can tweak this till they kind of, sort of look like they would match-ish. Or just not worry about it. You know what? That looks like they kind of, sort of match-ish. So we will go ahead and accept that. Yes, that is what I want to do. And then this little platform thing, honestly, I should have saved some of this. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this layer. And, oh, it's not big enough. Well, you know what? That's not a big problem. I'll just scale it up. I'll just scale it up. Hello? Oh, you know what? I have a selection still. Scale it up. Sure, why not? Yeah, good enough. All right, so then we will go ahead and export this as a non-AO because this is not an ambient occlusion anymore. Sweet, sweet, sweet. And then I will load that back into Blender and see what fresh horrors I have created. We want the tower right here. Hey, look at that. It actually looks way more like a lighthouse now because this looks like a lighthouse and not an archery tower. Maybe I should paint little windows into it or something. I don't know. Whatever. It looks cute. I like it. It looks exactly like something you would expect to see just slaughtering the massive hordes of goblins. It's great. I love it. It's got that nice cartoony kind of feel to it, but not too cartoony. I need to get an image of this now. Where's my camera? Way over here. Okay. Oh, that's quite the angle. Let's maybe adjust this a little bit. let's put it like I don't know, a 70-degree angle. And let's scooch that over, show it lines up, which I think would be at 15. Let's drop it. No, that's not what I want. Just drop it down so we can actually see it. Pull it back a little so we can see all of it. Ayo, there we go. And then we'll just do a quick render. I don't know what size I'm rendering at, so this might be, okay, that's pretty small, which is fine. Oh, I said it was 128. Okay, whatever. F11 to pull that one back up. So at 128, this would be the icon. So this will be inventory icons, and this would be the Kobo Tower _ ICO because it's an icon. And then I think you can, if you switch the texture over and back. Can you not code a light to flicker? Wait, what? Huh? You know what? GIMP artist mode. I'm not sure what that is. The name actually stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program, which is kind of funny because GNU is already an abbreviation for, I honestly don't know what it's an abbreviation for, but it's already an abbreviation for something else. So it's like, wait, you're using an abbreviation in a name and you're only using the first letter of it? I mean, I don't care. Okay, so now I need one at 192 for the buy screen. So we just render out the exact same thing. I could do it at a different angle or something, but ain't gonna bother with that. And then we're gonna save this into a different file as building snapshots, and then this would be Kobo Tower _ snap. Now I know you can't see any of this because those windows don't show, but just believe me, I'm doing it. Can you not code a light? I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean just like, how would we even demonstrate this? So if I do, what am I doing? Give me Kobo logging _19. So like, and then I have to make it nighttime, I suppose. So it's dark now. And if I place one of these, that places some lights to light them up. And then if I remove the building, it pulls the lights out. So what you can do, and what this is kind of in a sense doing, it's placing invisible light nodes above this node. And then when you remove them, it removes the light nodes and it makes it dark. So you could, and I have done this, I don't know if it's really recommended. There's an API function called swap node, or you could use set node, and it pretty much lets you change a node back and forth. So you could use a timer on a swap node, or on a node calling swap node so that the timer keeps running. And you could make it every second flip from a node that doesn't emit light to a node that does emit light. And then you'll have a light that essentially blinks on and off. I guess that's kind of expensive to do because it's recalculating the light every second. But if you're not doing it with like hundreds of thousands of nodes all at once, it's probably perfectly fine, you know. Now, who comes up with the it's probably perfectly fine? I don't know. I watched a funny video on that once. It's just like, yeah, none of the stuff's actually tested, but it's probably fine. It's like, but who's the one deciding what probably fine is? Like, you know, we all say that. Well, I don't know if you do, but I say things like that all the time. Oh, it's probably fine. It's like, yeah, but per who? Per who is this probably fine? You know? But yeah, you can do it like that if you want the light to actually change. Otherwise, you can just do an animated texture and have two different lit elements. Actually, I could, because I'm totally not in a time crunch here and I totally have tons of time to waste. I wouldn't say I'm wasting time, but I totally have a ton of time to demonstrate this. So I have, let's just come over here. Just throw all this stuff in the garbage. I don't need any of this. Actually, I probably should have kept the configurator wrench, but whatever. No, actually, it's a task. Oh, the campfire would work. So let's grab the campfire, let's grab a pile of wood and the wrench. So I'll go ahead, I'm using some goofy texture pack, I don't know why, sue me I guess. Let's configure this, I don't care about any of this. Minimum time, minimum time must be more than 5 seconds, or 5 seconds, and then the maximum time must be 20 seconds, okay. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'll put the log pile out here, grab a bunch of logs, change the time to 0. Okay, it already went out. Well, that's fun. Okay, so it's nighttime, right? And I have this campfire. And it makes a little bit of light right now. But if I punch it with the log, it makes more light. And then in 5 to 20 seconds, when this dies, because it burnt up the wood, hey, the light goes away, we relight it, the light comes back. So essentially that's what I'm doing here is, well, in this case, the node itself is emitting light when it has flames, and when it doesn't, it still does, just a little bit. And you would just make that run on a timer to flip back and forth to make the light blink. It's really easy. You can't go wrong. What am I trying to do here? I'm trying to do the towers. Let's just put a super helpful comment here like, can't have a tower defense game without towers. These comments are completely pointless, honestly. It's like, yeah, no duh, the towers are in the tower file. Like, you think? Towers.lua, there's probably only going to be one tower, but yeah, whatever. I'll just go with something super basic like the wall, and we'll save that. Copy that and make it a tower, and then we'll change this to the tower. Again, why type things out when you can just copy and paste, you know? I'll just call it tower. I don't know, archery tower. I think that's how you spell archery. Oh, you know what? I never saved that mesh or exported it. Let's go do that because you can't have the mesh without it existing. Put it to 0, 0 in the world. Actually, I think it's 0, 0, -5. No, yeah, whatever. I don't know. Export this out. Selection only. I know you can't see any of this, so I don't have any of that. That matters. And we will save that into the models file folder directory. That's gonna be called koboldtower.obj. Bada boom, bada bing. We have a tower. Oh no, the file itself saved. I just didn't export the element out of the file, is what I meant to say. Yeah, so like that whole Blender file, it auto saves every 5 minutes, something. I don't even know. It auto saves at some point, so there's no issues there. Kobold tower. It technically doesn't need to be a face dir, which just means it rotates because it's essentially the same from all sides, so who cares? The snapshot is not going to be wall_1, it's going to be tower. The cost, we'll say 100 lumber and 100, no, you know what? Let's be generous. 50 lumber, 100 stone. The health, a wall's 150 because we copied this from a wall. So I don't know, let's put the tower at 200. Basic defense to keep goblins. Yeah, no, actually this is more of a slaughter the incoming hordes of puny goblins with this death machine. That totally doesn't sound over the top. After place node, we just want to make sure that we're placing it on the ground. And then we have to set the health at actually 200 because that's what we said it is. And it'd be a bit misleading to not actually have it that. So now, theoretically, we have a tower. The tower won't do anything just as of yet, but we can make sure everything texture-wise works. Give me, I had my fingers on the right keys on the keyboard here. Give me Kobo tower. Hey, we have a tower in inventory. For some reason, the icon's cutting the top of it off. Oh, because I'm not doing inventory icons. Well, why aren't I? Other than because I'm stupid. I had them before. Oh, it looks so nice, doesn't it? That's great. I love it. It's so good. It's so cute. Other than there's... well, that's fine. You're not going to be up close to it. Oh, hey. Hey, buddy. You're just what I need. You're coming to attack this tower, aren't you? Well, just you hold your horses. Oh, hey, there's a new version available. Oh, I should be clicking this so you can see that there's a new version available. Yeah, well, I automatically build from Git every morning at like 4 a.m. So I'm sure the new version's older than the version that I'm running. Okay, so we have the tower. But now the tower needs to do things. And I don't know how to do that. Do we just do a timer that runs every second? Every half second? That's probably what I have to do. I don't know how else I would do this. Well, my options essentially are either a timer on a per node basis, which is probably the easiest, but maybe not the most efficient. Or when I place a tower, I need to populate a table with every position that a tower is in, and then on a globe step, which is every server step, which is a hundredth of a second, a tenth of a second, I don't even know. Cycle through that entire table and get every entity in the area of every single one of those nodes and see if there's any goblin entities. And if there are goblin entities, attack them, which I'm not sure exactly how to attack when the goblins don't have health. Yeah, that could be a problem. The goblins should probably have some level of health so as, you know, to be able to take all their health away. So I suppose we will just do here if data, otherwise if not data, because there won't be data for this because it was never used before. Self.health equals data.health. I don't know why. Does that even really matter? Probably not super much, but whatever. Doesn't really cost me anything to do it the right way. I don't know, 25. We'll have to see how that all plays out. And then data.health equals self.health. Bada boom, bada bing. And I suppose I should probably do that with the rogue goblins because they're the ones more likely to be attacking things. Self.health. I suppose I could have just saved this. And we'll give them like 40 because, you know, they're fierce, vicious warriors. And they wouldn't be much of a fierce, vicious warrior if they had no health. Which also... Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Which also, this means... I don't know why I can't type. Probably because I'm talking. This means that I could keep the whole punch thing. But instead of removing them straight up, we would do self.health equals self.health minus 1. Where did this error come from? I'm confused. What's wrong? Unexpected symbol near equals. Oh, up here. Okay, did I accidentally middle click while I was scrolling? I kind of hate this feature. Because it's... I must have accidentally middle clicked while I was scrolling. I dislike that. Okay, so self-health equals self-health minus 1. And then I suppose we do need to... Whoops. We do need to check... So we have to do if self-health is less than or equal to, we'll do 0. Then, just in case somehow there was some weird random way where its health could become less than 0, you never know. And you wouldn't want to have something that's going into negative because then it'll just keep counting up into negative until it runs out of numbers to count, which would be bad. So we just do that. And then I can actually just copy this directly on over to the Goblin Scout, because it'll be doing the same thing, other than in this case. No, actually, it will be the exact same, because we're setting its health elsewhere. So, you know what, though? I do probably need to set that, because it'll have some data coming. Right, it will have some coming through, so I think I do need to set that here. Goblin row, I want the entity dot health equals 40, and then the it needs to be in the ABM as well. And then I need, when we're you can actually spawn rogue goblins from the base as well currently. Shoo, I should probably change that. All right, and then here we want to do the Goblin Scout entity dot health equals 25. All right, so they should all be healthed up, so that's perfect. So now it's just the matter of making the tower do things. So after place node, I suppose we'll go ahead and do a timer. So local timer equals core get node timer at position, and then we will have an on timer equals function position. And then we'll just go ahead and throw an end on there right away, just so Adam doesn't yell at me about a function that's missing an end, because it loves to do that even when I'm still busy typing the function out. It's like, oh, hold your horses, please. I'm trying to type here. So, we're going to need a local timer again, because we'll need to reset the timer. Equals core get node timer. And then at the end of the function, we'll call the timer again. Oh, actually, I didn't start the timer the first time around. Timer start 1. So that'll just make it run in another second. Oh, actually, this could all be done after the fact. Because if this is coming up false, I don't need to know what the player name is, and I don't need the timer because we're ignoring everything else. So, yeah, that's... What is going on? I'm seeing, What is YouTube trying to tell me here? I'm getting little party things flying up in the chat. I don't know. Are they saying I should click on that? I don't... What does any of this mean? I can click on the 100? Okay, I don't... Now it's showing hearts. Okay, YouTube, I don't know what any of that means, but thanks, I guess. Okay, so what we need to do here is look at the API, because I need to find entities in area. I have no idea how to do that. On activate, on deactivate, on self. No, I'm not looking for the entity itself as such. I want to know how to find entities in an area, which I know you can do. Because I've done it elsewhere, but I can't think offhand. However, we can punch an entity in Lua, which could be helpful, because then that would automatically do this, because it would be called with the in the on punch. So let me just copy that code snippet, because I might want to use that later on for a little something, like, I don't know, punching the goblins. But again, that's not what I'm actually looking for right now. No, I'm not looking for that. No, I'm not. I don't care about that. Not interested in registering an entity. I want to find an entity. Add entity. No, I don't want to add an entity. Here we go. Get objects inside radius. Sweet sauce. So center would be position, of course. And then the radius. How far do we want this to reach? I don't know, 10 nodes? I don't know. We'll have to see how that works. We also actually do need to do something with this. So we'll do a local objects equals core get objects inside of radius. Position and a radius of 10. Okay. Warning, any kind of interact with the environment or other APIs can cause later objects in the list to become invalid while you're iterating it. Punching an entity removes its children. It's recommended to use core objects inside radius instead. Huh, wait, what? Huh? Huh? Why does this exist then? If you shouldn't even use it. Okay, I'll use the one that's safer. And then, hey, for once there's actually worthwhile code. Unstinking believable. There's an example code here of how to actually use the data that we just collected. They never do that. Ever. And it even already has OBJ punch. This is perfect. This did half the work for me. Oh, these are just reaction emojis. The more you know. Okay, so somebody's just going crazy clicking on. How come there's only like 4? 5. Sorry, I can't count. There should be more, YouTube. There should be more. Where's the option for me to put custom ones in? Wait, what does this do? Oh, wait, no, never mind. That's doing all kinds of things I did not want to do. Okay, so for OBJs... Oh, wait, this is actually doing all of it in one line. Okay, I can vibe with that. So then I can eliminate this whole thing. Okay, but here's an issue. Yeah. Right now, this is just going to punch everything. It doesn't care what it is. Could be my villager, my woodchopper, my forager, my repairman. Doesn't care. It's just going to punch it. Theoretically, if I don't implement an on punch for those entities, they wouldn't care. Nothing would happen. It would just be ignored. But I feel like at some point in the future, I might want the goblins to have towers of their own. So when you attack them, you know, they can kind of fight back a little bit. So this is probably not exactly what I want to do. So I'm going to have to... wait. There's a... I'm saving... Am I? I think I have I'm called an owner on all of my units. Lumberjack, here we go. I believe they're all my slaves. Hey, look at this. Oh, I could just look at base where you build them. Buy them, create them, clone them. I don't know what you're actually doing. Forming them from the dust. Here we go. So, someplace. Here we go. If we get a lumberjack, owner is me. If we get a forager, owner is me. So, also, I'm the owner on the right tower. I'm an owner here someplace. Am I not? Yeah, owner. Play your name. Perfect. This does make it a little less efficient, though. Because now I have to pull the meta every single time to find out who the owner is. Is it worth doing that? It's worth doing that beforehand. Because otherwise it's going to call it every single time for every object it finds. And that's not very efficient. So we'll do it this way. Local owner equals meta. Oops, meta. No, this is, yeah, right. Yeah, that's right. Meta. Wow. Meta get string of owner. So that'll return whatever, in this case, single player. But if this ever becomes a multiplayer game, it would get the correct player's name. So then if you had multiple groups of people and they were fighting each other, their towers would shoot at each other. Ooh, this is so exciting! Okay, so we have objects, right? So how do we find out who the owner of the object is? We just do if obj.owner equals owner? Oh, wait, no. I would want to do if it doesn't equal owner. Because then this would mean anything that doesn't match. And then we would do OBG punch. And I guess I need to put a puncher in. I don't know if I actually need any of this stuff. Do I? Who's the puncher? I mean, the puncher would be me? But I don't have a player string. I have a player name or player object. I'm just going to try with nothing. I think it should work. I don't think I technically need to pass anything to that. Wow. I was just trying to put the next end in where I needed it. Okay. I have no idea if this is going to work. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Oh, he doesn't show his health. Well, that's not helpful. Oh, and I just placed a brick. Oh, because I don't have a form spec for this. So that's also not helpful. Says he has 10 health. Okay. Ooh. What? Attempt to perform arithmetic on field health at no value. But it should have just had health created. Are you for real? Are you for real? Okay. Well, that probably means the tower... Oh, yeah, the tower wouldn't be shooting because it was already placed, so the timer's not started. Okay. So we'll just do this. Because I can actually do this really easily. Self-health equals self-health minus 1 or 40. Well, technically it would be 39. Because that would be 1 minus it. And then I can go to the Goblin Scout and essentially just paste the same thing in, but change it to 24. And I think that'll work. Now, unfortunately, I can't do anything about that tower because I can't remove buildings yet because I haven't implemented that because I'm stupid. Okay. I don't know if anything's happening to this guy because I can't see his health. And here it just says its HP is 10. Which I don't know where that's coming from because it should be... Oh. Okay, attempt to perform arithmetic on field's health at no value. I just told you if it doesn't exist... Oh, wait, no, I have to do... Well, that's bogus. I ain't about to do that. Also, why doesn't it crash when the tower's shooting at it then? Okay, the easiest thing to do, just clear objects and spawn one. Clear objects, please. Thank you very much. And then I just need to find, here we go. We have good old debugging enabled. It's really not debugging, but whatever. And then I just want a tower here. Well, thanks. I really wish this thing showed its health in this modal, this form spec, this menu. But it doesn't, because why would we ever need to know that? That's not important. It also didn't exist when this was written, so... You know, it kind of couldn't. But I can add that in easily enough, so I'll just do that right now. So I guess I'll put this at 2. I don't know. It's whatever. Goblin health. And that'll be obj.health. Wow, surprise, surprise. Oh, I thought he had died. Am I FR? Am I French? No, I'm... Oui, oui! Bonjour, mon ami! No, I'm not French. Uh-oh. But it has a value. I just spawned... Oh, you know what? Never mind. No, it doesn't. When you spawn it in via the cheat code... Oh, wait. Yeah, it does. It sure does. Right here. Health of 40. What do you mean it doesn't have health? Okay, well, now I'm just confused. Line 10. Oh, wait, that's in the form spec. Huh? Well, except line 10 is... What? I mean, but it totally does exist. Do I... Oh! probably would help if I unactivate load the health value. Self.health equals data.health. Yeah, that's probably important. Which also means I should jump over into the Goblin Scout right away and do that, because otherwise it's going to crash the game too when I punch on it. No, this one somehow I was smart enough to have already done that, but I didn't think to do it on the rogue. All right, so they're attacking it, and it still says he is. But it has a health. What is going on? How can you possibly tell me there's not a field of health? There is. It's right here. Self-health equals data health. Health. It's all health. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong one. Doesn't matter. It's still health. It totally exists. Why does that not work? Okay, well, there's another way to do this. It's just not as nice. I just have to look at the terminal, and then I just goblins. It doesn't. It does. Scroll down. That's the wrong one. I want Goblin Rogue. Go down to the bottom here. There's a lot of lines of code. Almost 300. No, it's a lie. 200. Okay, and then we just do a quick old print self.health. And then in the terminal, I will see if these guys are losing health. And, well, gonna have to say no. Not losing health. Also, when I punch it, it's still throwing this error. In line 202 now. Oh, hey, what do you know? Self-health equals self-health minus 1. Self-health exists. What are you talking about? I have a feeling I have a typo someplace here. Let's copy that. Goblin base. Goblin rogue entity dot health equals 40. Yeah, that looks right. That's for the rogue goblins. That looks right to me. Health, yeah, that's spelled right. Okay. If it's a wave, yep, that looks an awful lot like health to me. Oh, that's the goblin base. Okay. The goblin itself. Self-health equals data health. That looks right to me. And then data health equals self-health. That also looks right to me. How can this not exist? But the state does? Hello? Like, what? I'm so confused. Okay, well, the next thing. Let's try this instead. Let's go to the tower. And we'll just do a quick print timer executed. No, we didn't kill the timer, but the timer ran. And then we'll just do print found an object. This way I'll at least know if the timer's running. Okay, well, the timer doesn't seem to be running either. Huh? I have a feeling I maybe made a mistake in some of this code. However, not to worry. I can just pull up the old... That is not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Yeah, let's make that go away. I can probably just pull up the logging. Where's my loggers? I don't have them up. Okay. We'll just do a split screen here. A split screen. Thank you very much. Okay, and then... After place node timer start, I need to be on the tower. After place node. Oh, wait a second, because I never... Really, I never started the timer. I made a local for the timer and just completely failed to start it because who actually needs the timer, right? Like, that's not really important. And now it should crash instantly. Oh, wait, no, I have to create a new tower. because that one's timer won't start. Hey, what do you know? Attempt to index a nil value in function punch. Timer executed. Found an object. Okay, well, so that's working. Line 33. Oh, that's just the function. Line 41 is the actual issue. OBJ punch. Do I have to actually pass something? Negative health. Negative health. I'm just trying to subtract health from a health value. And then when they hit 0, they die. Do I have to actually pass something through? See, that's the question, because I don't have any of these values. Like, I can get the puncher if I have to. Object punch. To punch an entity object in Lua, call object punch, puncher, time from last punch, tool capabilities, direction. Return value is toolware. Parameters are equal to the above callback. Oh, which is this. Every punch calls entity on punch. Puncher, time from last punch, tool capabilities, direction, damage. Oh, wait, so do I have to have... So I have to put a table with tool capabilities to punch it? Well, that just seems like way too much work. I ain't about all that. Oh, we'll just do the old, we'll just do the old health equals health minus 1. Of course, none of this works in the on punch. Does that even matter, though? I don't think so. I mean, other than the fact that it doesn't work at all, but... So then all of these selves would change to OBJ. Oh, wait, you know what? I think I might have to do something different. I might have to get a Lua entity. I don't know if these already are entities. Objects inside radius. What is that returning, actually? Oh, objects. Inside radius. Returns an iterator of valid objects. So it sounds, yeah, because from the sample code here, it sounds like that's already everything I need. So now the only question is, why in the world is this health bit not working? Are you trying to tell me that these guys don't have health? What? Clear entities. What? Oh, clear objects. That's why. Okay. Objects are cleared. We got a tower. I don't know. Spawn in a rogue. Okay. So we should have health. For some reason, the timer's not running anymore? What is going on here? Timer should persist. There's going to be so many towers just floating around here. Oh, hey, okay. Time to perform arithmetic on field health. A nil value. How is this a nil value? I am so confused. Object owner doesn't seem to be a nil value. Oh, is it though? Potential. Okay, let's just try that. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe object owner doesn't exist. In which case, object is not what we actually want. Is it because it's crashing that the timer doesn't keep executing? I bet that's what it is. Because the latest tower is also, is also no longer shooting. Oh, hey, I can do this, though. That'll, like, make this invincible. Okay, so timer executed. Found an object. Print obj owner prints out nil. That is why this does not work. So this is not actually what we need. So what I need to do, bogus. Let me just pull up this onto the other window so I can compare the two. I don't even think this is actually the one I wanted. No, I actually need one where I am spawning an entity in. Here we go. Okay, so when we spawn one in, so now I need to get the Lua entity for the object. So I'll do that like this, and then we'll just do goblin entity, because it could be a scout, it could be a rogue. Actually, it could even be a player object, so we'll just do entity, and then this would be OBJ, right? And then instead of any of these being OBJ, we just change all of these over to entity. Bada boom, bada bing. Surprise, surprise, tower's not going to be shooting anymore. But just like 55 of them, because I know I'm going to need it. There we go. Oh, what do you know? Attempt to local entity, a nil value. Okay. Attempt to index local entity, a nil value. In line 41. But I just made entity be a real value right here. How is this a nil value? You literally have it. Like, what? How is... Huh? OBJ get Lua entity. I mean, that's what I'm doing right here after we add an entity. This is getting an entity. Okay, we're gonna do a quick little search-a-rooney here. For, I guess, get Lua entity. Okay, it says returns the object's associated Lua entity table if there is one. Otherwise returns nil, e.g. for players. What if it got myself, because I'm a player? That's a possibility. It might be trying to print my own owner, and I don't have an owner. I am my own owner, but I'm not, you know what I mean. Okay, so then we have to just do this. Then we just do an if entity then, and then we just indent all of this one more. If that's what it turns out being, yeah, sorry, bud, but one of these towers eventually is going to kill you. Okay, well, it keeps finding a bunch of nils. Let me back away. I'm definitely more than 10 objects away. And it's still saying nil. Timer executed. Found an object. But somehow the object doesn't have an owner. Goblin health's 11. That's funny because I thought the goblin health was... Huh? What? Huh? I don't get it. Spawning another rogue goblin. Now he magically has health. What is going on? And now his health's 29. This guy has 16 health, 14 health. He still has 22. Oh, but now he has 22 health, 21. I'm still getting a bunch of nils, though. That can't be me, though. Because I'm way further away than the 10 notes that this is looking in. And also... Oh, no! Duh! The goblins don't have... Okay, I'm testing this all the wrong way. Okay, this is what we need to do. Let's put a tower here. And let's, oh, I don't know, spawn in a woodcutter. Hey, it works this time. I'm so stupid sometimes. Found an object. Hey, guess what? The object's owner is single player. Hey, surprise, surprise. It works. It would be nice if there was some kind of visual indicator that the tower was, you know, doing something. But that can come later. I could always do the, I can make the tower spawn an entity and like shoot it towards the goblin, but that honestly just sounds like a whole lot of work. And for a little tiny arrow that you probably wouldn't even see, not worth it. But maybe I could do like a little a bow shooting sound, like a little twing. I should just do a bunch of voice talent for all the sound effects. Twing, twing, twing. That'd be great. That's exactly what this game needed, was some ambiance of some twing. That's not at all what a bow sounds like when you shoot it. I'm sure you all know that, but also my poor little woodcutter he can't find any trees to cut. He's just standing here like, hey guys, I'm kind of bored. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, that's an issue. I didn't actually want to do that. Hey, my little goblin friend, how much health you still got, huh, bud? Huh? How we doing here, bud, huh? Oh, you only got 4 health left? Huh. It'd be a real shame if you had 0 health. Oh, you poor little dude. Also, I should really be racking up the XP when I'm doing this, right? Because what's the point of taking out the enemy if you're not going to earn any XP? That's like why even bother? I wouldn't bother. If I'm not getting XP, I ain't doing it, man. So I don't even know how I do that. This is Goblin XP. I don't really care about the Goblin XP. I want my own XP. If anything, the Goblin should lose XP when one of their puny, whatever the description there said, is taken out by an archery tower. Like, come on, you're not even smart enough to avoid the archery tower? Like, what a loser. Someplace I do something with XP. I don't even know. I know it exists. How do I earn XP? How do I earn XP, honestly? I don't even know. Do I earn XP? That's a really good question. I would have thunked so. Do I? Maybe I don't. I feel like placing a building should give me XP. Or buying a building. One of the two. I don't think I actually have ever given myself any XP. Well, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I start with 0 XP. I don't think anything I do right now gives me XP. That's kind of bogus. Not gonna lie. This is gonna be the one way you can get XP is by taking out goblins. The only way, and you need XP for all kinds of things. Well, clearly you don't need it for anything yet because it's never been an issue that I had 0. So, okay, so in order to get XP, I need to look at no, not logging. I'd have to look at the lumberjack. Okay. So when the lumberjack dumps something off, he's not giving me XP, he's giving me lumber. But that's okay because where do you drop your lumber off, bro? Here we go. If buildings, blah, blah, blah. Nope, that's if you're here. This is here. If you're to a storage. Okay, here we go. So I just do it this way. It would have honestly been faster to just whatever. Well, thankfully we already have owner, so that's helpful. So we can get the resources from owner, and then we just do resources.xp equals resources.xp plus 1. Hey. And now that I'm thinking about it, after place node, Sure, why not? If we can actually place the node, give me some XP. Come on, bro. I'm starving for XP here. I need the XP. I really need it, you know? It's crucial to me that I have XP. So yeah, we're going to do that. This one, though, would not be owner. It would be player name. Because that's the string. There we go. So I'll get 1 XP for every tower I place. I kind of feel like if I place a logging camp, I feel like I deserve to get some XP for that too. You know, why not? It ought to be worth something. Do I give myself 1 XP? Yeah, I'll only give myself 1 XP. I wouldn't want to look like I'm greedy here, you know? Because I'm totally not. I just think it's important that, you know, you can get XP. Because otherwise, why does it even exist? You know what I mean? Yeah, hopefully that all works. Can I even see my own XP? Oh, I can right here. Excellent. Okay, well, come on, goblins. Do your worst. Did I take out all the print statements from the towers? Because if I didn't, they're not shooting. It looks like I did. Okay. What are these goblins at? 124 waves. They have 296 XP. Look at all this metal. 2,644. Dude, no way. They have 35,000 food? Goblins, what do you have all this food for? My dudes, I only have 40.65k. And 41 stone. They have 0 stone. Well, losers. They only have 40. They have no stone. But they have 2,641 metal. And I have none. That's quite sad. Okay, I'm just going to spawn in a rogue goblin here. Now, if the goblin was smart, he would attack the building that's attacking him. You know? Like, bro, this tower here, it ain't shooting because the timer ain't running because it crashed. These ones over here, these are the ones that are actually doing something. Assuming he's taking damage. Sure is. He's down to 11. Hey, bud, what are you looking at? You got 6 health, huh? It'd be a real shame if you had 0 health. It's working! It's working! Other than you can't buy the towers, so... Oh, there we go. Why did that not update when I opened it? Shouldn't it have? Oh, well. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, well, that works. So we have towers. The towers aren't putting up lights. Should probably fix that. Would like to have some lights over my towers. All I have to do is... Oh, I don't know. Look at this. What is this called? Like, here we go. Kobo placed lights. And all it needs is a position. So easy. So simple. Yeah. But then we also need to do an after destruct. Because this way, when the goblins... Should the unthinkable ever happen and they destroy my tower, the lights will go away. Because otherwise you get phantom lights. And that's no good. Dude, these goblins are crazy. I mean, look at all this food. It's a good thing I didn't implement the new spawning function yet. Because that would be a lot of goblins coming out. Because the planet right now, every approximately minute, it'll spawn 1 goblin if they have enough food. I'm going to change that. So every minute, it'll spawn how much ever food and lumber they can create goblins out of. It'll spawn that many goblins and decrease their food and lumber, obviously, by the required amounts. So right here, I think goblin cost is 25 food and 5 lumber. So they could get, what would that be? At 35,000 food, 35,000 divided by 25. Is that like 7,000-ish, something in there? That's enough that it would just completely crash the game. And 5 lumber, and they have 4,800. So that would be 900, almost 1,000. That would not be good. But they've ran 127 waves too. So, I mean, that ought to be worth something. Okay, let's light up around the goblin base with some towers. Very nice. Now, here's one thing that's not nice, is the towers won't shoot at the goblin base. Which also, the goblin base doesn't say what its health is. I don't think it actually even has health. Oh, I feel bad for you. You didn't even make it, bro. Didn't even make it. Yeah, that's why the goblins need some kind of defense mechanism of their own. Because right now, you could literally take a tower and just plop it right next to it and just spawn snipe them all. Kind of rude. So I should probably do something to prevent that. Like, check this out. So we do, nah, he sure didn't. Poor bugger. Rip. Oh, I just had a hilarious idea. What if when the goblins died, it put a little tombstone out? That'd be hilarious. I'd have to make the tombstones disappear after a while. Dude, I'm gonna do it. Not right now though, but I gotta put this in a note. Oh wait, but their death doesn't actually happen here. Oh, that stinks. It would be funny. But I'd have to put it here. And then any other thing that can kill the goblins would have to do it there. Or wait. No, let me check. Is there a callback for an entity when it's removed? Because if there is, this would work. Yeah, I'm not using the built-in damage thing because it just didn't seem to work, which is unfortunate, but whatever. That's fine. On activate, on deactivate. Called when the object is about to get removed or unloaded. On step, on punch, on death. Called when the object dies. Okay. Let's try this out. I'll just pop it in here real quick. If this works, this will be what makes me win the game jam, okay? Well, that doesn't make sense. So this needs to actually be, why is it not stupid API formatted dumb like this? Yeah, okay, so we have this. Okay, and then we just want to do print goblin died. Sad face. Poor goblin. Okay, if this works, this is a goblin scout, which is fine because that'll be spawning in a minute-ish anyways. Throw out a rogue goblin. So the rogue, no, he died already. He has 40 health too. Of course, you got 7 towers around shooting at him. Come on. Come on. I should have done that on the rogue goblin. Wouldn't have to wait for a spawn to happen. Come on. Come on. Okay. We've got a goblin. And he's dead and it did nothing. Okay. So that doesn't work. Called when the object dies. Well, I'm removing the object. There is an on deactivate as well, which already runs. Oh, no, it doesn't. I have an on activate, but not an on deactivate. So it sounded like called when the object is about to get removed or unloaded. So I am not sure if that'll work. On deactivate equals function self and removal. I don't know what self or removal would be. Doesn't really matter. All I need is that. Whoops, I put that in the wrong spot. I wanted to put that here. I was like, wait a second, huh? On deactivate equals function self removal. Okay. And then all we're doing is printing goblin died. All right, and I'm gonna actually go ahead and copy this to the rogue goblin because I can spawn one of those in. And I can't spawn in a normal scout. Because why would I do that? I think he's still alive. Okay. Goblin died. Yes! So when he deactivates, we can put a little tombstone out. Although, can we get his position because he's dead? So I do need to make sure that works. So we just want to do, how do we do this? Local position, just for testing purposes, will work. Equals self.object get position. And then to check if it gets a position, all we have to do is print, and we'll do dump to make sure it's actually a valid position, because it'll dump just a table, which tells me nothing. All right, let's see here. I'm sorry, Rogue, but I need you to die for me. You must make a sacrifice for the greater good so I can win the game jam. Goblin died, and I have a position of negative 107.29974365234, 2 on the Y, and Z-axis of 88.5742340008789. That's a lot of precision. But that does mean... Okay, I can get rid of the on punch. No, wait, I want to leave the on punch still. Because I can punch them and take away 1 health. So push comes to shove, if you're being overwhelmed, you can just click away and slowly but surely, after 25 clicks, kill a scout, and after 40 clicks, kill a rogue. So it ain't like you're going to be doing this to annihilate an army, but at least it makes it feel like you're doing something. You don't feel helpless. What you're doing is accomplishing literally nothing in the big scheme of things, but at least it feels like you're accomplishing something. And that's what we care about. We want people to think that they're making a difference when in reality, nah, you ain't. Okay, well, that is perfect. This is going to be so good. And I already have tombstone models from a tombstone. I think the model's called Tombs. So I already have models of tombstones. This is perfect. And then I'm just going to do place a tombstone smiley face, not hell, smiley face. And then the tombstone will have to be a new entity, which is no big deal. And I'll give it like a lifetime of 60 seconds. I don't know. I don't want it to last too long because it'll start plugging things up and it'll get kind of annoying. But I think it would just be really funny to have a tombstone when a goblin dies. It would add so much to the ambiance. I got to record some death sounds too. Oh, I'm excited. But that's going to have to be it for tonight. Man. Oh boy. This is good stuff. This is how you know things are going good. Let me go ahead and push these changes. Oh, wait, before I do that, I do need to put some changes into the change log. So today, I didn't put any change log up for yesterday's. I don't know if I'm going to be able to fit text saying anything on these tombstones. They're going to have to be pretty small. I mean, we'll see. But I wouldn't get my hopes up too much. Because, again, they're going to be tiny. Okay, so today, let's see. Goblin rogues wander about correctly, moving when stopped, and changing every 10. I'll just do the number 10 seconds, approximately. What else? Tower added. Finally can technically call the game a tower defense because there's a tower, you know. Towers kill goblins. Nice. Yesterday, Did I have the... I don't think I had the Goblin Rogue at all. I think that was all done yesterday for the most part. So, added Goblin. Let me just do Rogue Goblin. It makes more sense saying it that way. Rogue Goblin. Having troubles with wandering system. I don't know if I did a whole lot with graphics. I do need to do some menu stuff. That I got to do that. It's going to be so boring, but like I can't just have. Here we go. I can't just have this for menus. Whoops. See, that's what I'm talking about. I accidentally am placing stuff and I can't dig it. Like this doesn't work. This kind of works, but it needs to be changed to the other texture. This takes up way too much screen real estate, too much dead space. It's kind of garbage. But I was thinking more like the logging camp, which of course doesn't exist anymore. Okay, well, that's fine. We can just look at this one for an example. Ugly. Can anybody say ugly? I'm sure you can. That was kind of a rhetorical question. You don't actually have to say ugly. Yeah, no good. All of these, like this guy. No, it's garbage. It's garbage. These should all be every single, if you can click on an object, be it an entity or a building, like this you can't even click on yet. They should all look something like this, but much smaller. Probably about half the height. This goofy little border thing, that's got to go. I was playing around with things. This is hot trash. It needs to all be based off of this texture, but into the lower corner, because here's a neat thing. You pull up a menu and you just click anywhere and it goes away. So if you pull up the menu on this guy, on the building, then you get your information you need to see in the bottom corner here. You could have like a picture of the building and whatever. Important details. Health bar, whatever. And you can see it. You can still see what's happening in the game, in the center of your screen. You can see most everything. Obviously, your HUD covers a little bit here. But you can see a lot of what's going on. Good. So you're not being sniped or something. And then when you're done looking at it, you just click wherever it's gone. Unlike this, blocks the most important part of the screen, the center. Obviously, that's the most important part. And sure, you can click outside of it and make it go away. But there's this ugly exit button. Like, we don't need that. But it feels like you do because it's filling up your full screen. And you feel like, well, I must have to click on the exit button where you put a little X in the top corner, but that just looks stupid. It's so much better and sleek when it's just on the bottom, especially if I can manage this, which I probably can't, and I won't spend too much time trying to. But if I could get a HUD into the lower corner and I could make the form spec stuff perfectly fit into the HUD, so the HUD always showed down here and it would just be blank. And then when I clicked on, say this building, it would be populated with that information. That would be optimal. But my big fear is with screen scaling, as you'll notice here. Oh, no, wait. Maybe that is possible. Because this form spec's staying the same size. It's not getting any smaller. So maybe I could do that. We'll have to see. It's a project for another day. But yeah, we'll wrap things up here. So we'll just, quick throw some hundreds in the chats. Pretend those are $100 bills. I can't actually throw $100 bills through the camera, but just pretend the hundreds are $100 bills, okay? Because I got so many, well, they're all singles, as we established yesterday, laying around the house. But I could bundle the singles up into stacks of hundreds. Which I don't even know I think they do them in stacks of 20s, honestly. I don't know. But whatever the case, that's going to be it for today. Thanks for watching. Probably be another stream tomorrow because, got to capitalize on this while I can. Got to distract all the other contestants to make sure that they don't have time to program because they're busy watching me. Of course, this also comes at a detriment to myself because I can't program quite as good when I'm doing other things, As you've seen, I make a lot of typing errors when I'm talking and trying to type. But, yeah, okay. The tombstone's not implemented yet. It will be, though. I will do that. That'll be Maybe not tomorrow, but definitely doing that because that's going to be hilarious. Yeah, I'll get these changes pushed as soon as the stream's ended here. If you want to check it out, it is in a semi-playable state now. You can't really win or lose because there is no win at all. And if the goblins destroy your base, you don't technically lose. You can't do anything, but it doesn't like kick you out of the game and say you're a loser or congratulations, you're trash. Go climb in the trash can with whoever that dude was from Sesame Street. Oscar the Grouch, that was his name. Yeah. So anyway, let's end here.